50th City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
Eric Shaw, you sure about what you'll be saying? And the first speaker, I talked to a lot yesterday, because Gaz Collins. By the way, there's 2 Gaz Collins in the audience today, right? Sorry, what's your name?
Gaz Collins.
Gaz Collins. Except he's Gary Collins, who gets called Gaz, as I used to when my name was Gary, and this is Gareth Collins, who gets called Gaz. And so that's a little bit freaky. I bet that's never happened to you two before in your whole life, right? Yeah, so there you go. Do. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. And so yesterday I was talking to him a lot because I was interviewed for his podcast, his YouTube channel that he does. And it was very interesting. It was a really well set up studio that's on Tepresset Road. And I'm looking forward, I think, to seeing the video when it's put up on YouTube. So, Gaz, not you, Gaz Collins is going to come up and talk about an entrepreneur's journey through Thailand. Come on up, Gaz Collins, not you, okay? Welcome. Thanks for doing this.
Hello guys, thank you for being here. As Ren has just said, my name is Gareth Collins and I'm going to share with you the person I was around 15 years ago to the person I am today. All the highs, the deep lows, the rock bottom moments I'm going to share with you. I'm going to truly open my heart to you all. I will. I am. Thank you. As you can see, Menace to Society, 2 mindset coach. I've got 3 agendas, however, I want to focus and home in on the one, that number 1, that green one that says, welcome all obstacles in your life. Most of my life, I've ran away from obstacles. I've hid away and allowed obstacles to control me, and I had a mindset of I'll do what I want. Very immature, very short-term gratification. Number 2, seek out all things that scare you. I was petrified of the dentist, literally all my life. However, a year ago, I started confronting this phobia, this fear. I had a mindset of taking this fear with me to the grave because I was so scared of having needles in my mouth. I had an epiphany and I said, no, this is holding me back from being the person I want to be. How will I feel when I face this fear and leave the dentist with these 2 roots that I've had for 5 years of my life out? I done it, I faced it, and it was like I scored a goal at the World Cup. A big weight, a big monkey got shifted from my back. And I felt so proud and relieved of doing this. So I said to myself, what else is holding me back from becoming my higher self, my best self? Number 3, invest in yourself. Soon as I started to invest in myself, I raised the value of myself. I could look at myself in the mirror. Previously, I'll dive into all the stories shortly, I did not like the person that was looking back at me in the mirror. I had a lot of hate in my heart. How did I turn that around? Let's dive into it. We'll start off in jail. In jail, I was around 15 years ago. I look at that person there now, I do not recognize him. It's very hard for me to say that is me. How did I end up in jail? And I just want to warn you, again, some of these stories may disgust you because they disgusted me. I was out on a night out, partying off my face, as many weekends. And I'm sure when you come out of the club and loads of people are congregating, having a joke and having a laugh, making trouble, being baboons. I was jumping up onto like a pot of plants, sort of thing, being a baboon, being a clown, having a great time. I jumped down and one of the people around me, guy, didn't like it. So he started being aggressive to me. And I didn't want none of it. So I decided to pull my trousers down and show my ass. I didn't want to fight though. I just wanted to make him look silly and continue the joke and the clown behaviour. Then that upset him. So he came running after me. I ran off. And then I seen a friend. He says, "What are you running for, Gaz? Let's go back up there." I said, "Come on then, let's go." I said, "Come on then, mate. Come on. I'm with my mate now. Let's go. Let's fight. Let's have it." And he slipped up. What did I do then? I ran up and kicked him in his head and then punched him. Yes, the truth. The cold, hard truth. And punched his friend and said, "Who's next?" I went home and thought that was it. The next day, my other friend messaged me, says, "Fair play for taking that geezer out last night. He deserved it." The guy who I hurt was in hospital, and his sister was friends with the guy, my friend, on Facebook. So they found out it was me. Arrested me, cut a long story short, I ended up doing 1 year in jail. However, that was still not enough for me to change. That pain wasn't enough. So I carried on. I'm at a festival there, having a great time. There, wonderful time. Here is one of the loves of my life. I ended up falling in love with this girl, beautiful, lovely lady. And we had a stillbirth. She was 28 weeks gone, stillbirth at our home. Very, very painful. And I really struggled to just look at children, just look at a child without any bitterness in my heart. So painful. Until I started to do the inside work and started to develop myself. I had to let go of that pain, accept it. I nearly missed out another story then. We broke up, I cheated on her, and one night she was out, I broke into her home, and I said, in a fit of rage, I said to her, "If you don't get back here now, I'm going to cut up your clothes." That's one of the most disgusting things I've ever done, and it still pains me to today. So I did. I cut up about 20-30% of her clothes. Disgusting behaviour, I know. And then I tried to get her back for about 3, 4, 5 years, and we was on and off, and it just wasn't clicking. Anyway, I can look back now and appreciate that, because that pain forced me to develop myself. Jail wasn't enough. But that there, what I'd done, disgusted me enough, so I had to finish. I had to really kill my old self. How did I do that? When a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. So I had no purpose. I had no true purpose in life. I did not know what to do. I did not know where I was going. Here's another side story. I was at school in one of the final years, and the teacher, while I was playing around with my good friend there, he said to me, "Gaz, when you leave school, you will be nothing but a bin man." And I was, for 5-6 years of my life. Very painful, when I knew I had a lot more to give this world. I had a lot more inside me to share and to give. So every day I used to think, when am I going to make something of my life? When am I really going to start facing life and challenging myself and start just bringing out the best side of me? Boom. I started a Caribbean food business in my family's pub. I'd done a one-off, all-you-can-eat Caribbean buffet because my passion was cooking. I loved cooking. I could do it all day. Pay me or not pay me, I don't mind. Bonus. Here's my friend here, Claire. She was vegan. She is vegan, and she took control of all the vegan area. And here's my lovely mom that put up with all of that behavior from me and still is there for me to today, which I don't know where I would be without her. Probably the 2 or 3 options: in a crack den, in jail, or in hospital, or just not, or 6 feet under. Yeah, not good. So yes, thank you, Mom, wherever you are now. This was the purpose I needed to heal my heart after trying to get my ex back. Desperately needed her back. It wasn't until I shifted that focus away from trying to get her back into something more positive and constructive that my life started to change and started to develop. Here I am with my crazy granddad, my adopted crazy granddad, who was my next door neighbour at my business, and my good friend there, Annabelle. We're there serving food in Birmingham for free, paying back to society, changing myself. Here's the lovely food: jerk chicken, curried goat, rice and peas, dumplings, patties, and some Scotch bonnet rings right there. Here's my happy family, a very rare occasion around that time that they would have been proud of me. My 30th birthday, 6 years ago. Everything that was drowned in me taught me how to swim. Once I healed myself and looked at the opportunity and what it was here to teach me, instead of staying in a state of paralyzation. That pain, that rock bottom moments, was holding me down. I was allowing them to hold me down instead of searching out the solution. Right, I've just done this, I'm disgusted in this behavior. How can I make amends for it not to happen again? Develop this, because this is weak. It's weak. Here I am. I took the dive from my parents' pub, that was literally, the kitchen was smaller than this, into a 10,000 square feet venue, 500 people capacity. When I took this dive, I knew I was probably not going to make a success of this. It was too big. I knew this, but either way, when it fails, the experience I will have will last me for the end of my days and will be so much more value. So let's do it. Let's take the dive. I did. The first electric bill I had was £3,800, and I still had some change in my bank. I couldn't believe it. It was a lot, to say the least. Here is a rare night that the place was full to each corner, 500 people capacity. However, most nights there was 10, 20, 30 people in a massive venue like that. And I had to walk through the crowd thinking, how the fuck am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my staff? Just like when you've had a birthday party and only your mum, dad, uncle and cousin shows up. That pain. Very, very painful. Tribute bands, weddings, all sorts of stuff I was doing there. And also raves, because I still had a little bit of rave in me, and I was still a party animal. That was still my downfall. I upset the neighbours. The DJs didn't respect me when I say to them, please be mindful of the level of the music. Anyway, I didn't appease the neighbours. I should have got acoustic curtains. I take full responsibility. They took the alcohol licence off me, and then I was paralysed again because my businesses have just crumbled. What do I do? How do I heal myself? Who knows? Do not know. How can I recover from this? Let's get away. Let's flee. I ran off to Thailand. I needed a fresh start, and I needed to reinvent and recreate myself. Here I am with AJ from the Pattaya News. I was working with the Pattaya News for about a year as their marketing and advertising manager, which I enjoyed. However, I didn't have enough control and creativity, and it just wasn't mine. I'm an entrepreneur, so I need to have input into what I'm building. Then, what else do I do? If this isn't for me, what else? I'm obsessed now with developing myself and creating a stronger me. Not just physically, up here. So if I'm obsessed with developing me, I'm also obsessed in helping others develop themselves. A true passion from my art. Why? Because I've gone through the pain of feeling weak and a lack of control in myself and my emotions. You're going to use your experiences to become either bitter, as I was, and I've shared with you, and it took me many years, 4, 5, 6 years, to just be able to smile, look at myself in the mirror, and say, things are going to be all right. Things are looking up. Here I am with one of my guests from my podcast, Tony Hughes is over there. Thank you for being here, Tony. Appreciate you, man. And a fellow friend, AJ, is unfortunately not with us today. Little side note, AJ ran seminars just like this sort of thing, revolving around business. And every month or every few months I used to go up to Bangkok, meet great people, high caliber people like this. When I first started my podcast, I'll move on to shortly, this man in the middle, the white guy, and AJ over to the left, was the first two people that came into my mind to ask to come onto my podcast. However, I didn't have the courage to ask them to come on, even though I was quite close to them. I was speaking to AJ on the phone for about an hour and a half, and he says, Gaz, I know you want to do what I'm doing now with seminars and business development and coaching, so next year, why don't you do it? Yeah, I'll do it. And I put down the phone and I said to myself, I'm not ready for that, not ready for it. 2 weeks after, my friend, who I was just on the phone to, passes away. Gone. At such a young age. I didn't have the opportunity and the courage, as I've just mentioned, to even ask him. And then a few months later, I plucked up the courage to ask my friend there, Tony Hughes, who's been on my podcast twice now. So what I'm trying to share with you is, do not wait for life to land on your plate, to land on your table. Start facing your fears, start facing your limiting beliefs as fast as possible, and that's how you will develop. Here I am with my first client that travelled from England to Thailand to come and train with me physically and mentally. He was overcoming a divorce. We spoke on the phone, we went through a few texts, and I basically said to him that I have no qualifications apart from life qualifications. I've been through what you've been through. I have the roadmap to help you heal and overcome your challenges. One thing that helped me overcome my partner's my heartbreak is, if I get her back, great. If I don't get her back, great. Total acceptance. And it wasn't until a few months later he went back to England and he still didn't quite get it. We carried on working and he said, I understand where you're coming from now. And something sparked in his brain and he managed to move forward in life. And it didn't take him 5-6 years like me. Here I am meditating on the beach with other colleagues. One from David Goggins, one of my most impactful heroes. It hurts, but that's all it does. The most difficult part of training is training your mind. The most valuable thing you have. Here I am with my mum in Bangkok with Thailand, and I can truly say the future looks bright. Here I am again with my granddad on PP Island, my cousin, my mum, and my first podcast guest. I thought about creating a podcast many years, and it took me many years to pluck up the courage to even have a go. So again, ask yourself, what are you holding back from not doing in your life? One thing that massively changed me is I lied down and I visualized of dying. I put myself on my deathbed and I said to myself, if I die tomorrow, what will I regret not doing? And things should start coming up in your mind. And whatever those things are, start facing them. Don't bring them to your grave. Just like me being here right now, pushing myself outside of my comfort zone to build myself. Here I am with Tony Hughes, having a marvelous time. And this is me at my first workshop with some of my colleagues and people that came to hear me speak, along with a couple of my guests that was on my podcast. Final note, the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. So throughout your day, keep in mind and consider how much time of your day are you investing in creating a stronger you? How much time of your day are you investing for your future self? Thank you for listening, guys.